Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect and the 1/3. Today's lesson is going to be entitled We're the Only Group of People or Race of People that don't teach their children they have enemies. All right, we're the only race of people that don't teach their children they have enemies, especially the Southern Kingdom. All right, Southern Kingdom, there is no real unity in the Southern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom, you'll see a little bit more unity, right? But then when it comes to the tribes, there is no unity. And you'll have it to where certain tribes, northern tribes, are against southern tribes, right? And that got to get fixed up. All right, but that's where Ezekiel 37 comes into play, right? Like, for example, Issachar, very I get that family-oriented vibe from them. They still have their family intact, so to speak. I'm not saying wickedness doesn't prevail over there, but there's still like a family vibe orientation, so to speak, that some semblance of family structure and togetherness and whatever, right? But like when you look at Judah or Benjamin, right, there is no full-on family structure for real. And then especially when the father's removed from the house and the father's not there to teach his children certain things, because the father was raised in a single mother household as well, so he's just continuing the cycle or whatever. And it's just hell. We're in hell, not taken away from Judah and being a present father, being the most present father according to statistics. I'm not taking away from that. You could be a present father, but your family's still not in order, right? And that's what we're striving for. That's what we're working towards, right? Which is the kingdom of heaven, where really and truly, we're going to have so much children in the kingdom that we're not even going to be able to attend to them for real. And are they going to call us deadbeats then? Right? What does the scripture say? Okay, let's see what the scripture says about that. You know what? I think I know where it's at. It's hiding. Or is it 61? Yeah, Salakia. I'm bugging. I knew it was in Isaiah. Salakia. Isaiah 11:8. Because it was as, but I just put S. It says, and the sucking child, righteous reign of the branch of Israel. I'll start at 1. Isaiah 11:1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And that's Yahweh Shai. And the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord Yahweh. And that's what we got to teach our people, right? That's just going into the full topic of what I'm bringing out, is that we got to fear the Lord. And part of fearing the Lord is knowing who our enemies are, man. Fearing the Lord it comes with a lot, man. It's not just, okay, yeah, it is fearing the Lord, but it's a whole process. If you fear the Lord, you're gonna know you're gonna teach your children you have enemies, man. Otherwise, you can be judged. What do you mean you didn't keep your children on point? What do you mean you didn't prepare your children? What do you mean you didn't tell your children that they were in the land, the valley of the shadow of death? What do you really mean by that? The Lord's gonna hold you accountable for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's not, the Lord ain't playing no games, man. Okay, everybody has an obligation and a duty still, to the best of their ability, right? It says, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord Yahweh, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity, damn, for the meek of the earth. I got into that word for, we'll see what that says in the Hebrew. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. Okay. And with the breath of his lips. And he shall slay the wicked. All right. I didn't even get to the point yet, but I like that word equity nonetheless. Because, I like that word, man. That's equitable, man. It just is what it is. Salakia. I said that's equitable. Don't kill me. So it's Yashar. Okay, in the Hebrew. All right. And let's see what it says: level place, uprightness, level country, table land, plain, level place, level playing field, fairness, uprightness. That's righteous. Uprightness, just righteousness. That's equity is righteousness. That's exactly what it is. All right. Simple and plain to the point. Continuing on. And righteousness shall be the gird of his loins, and faithfulness the gird of his reins. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. Okay? Going back to my original point of us not being there to watch over our kids in the kingdom. Because why? Our children's going to be out and about playing with lions and shit. Lions and tigers and bears and shit. Okay? What are they going to need their father for? They're going to be righteous. They're going to have spiritual power. They're going to be having fun with the animals, man. You know how much stimulant... You got to understand how stimulating that is. Okay? Because in this world, right? If we come across a wild animal, man, that's stimulating, but it's in a fearful sense. So what not in a righteous state of mind sense? The stimulation you get from playing with a lion or something, or a wolf, a tiger, a bear. Knowing that motherfucker could tear you to shreds, but you have power over it. And you fear the Lord, so they fear you. They're supposed to fear us, man. These animals are supposed to fear us, man. Going back to Genesis, man. Ruling over these. We're supposed to be God. We're supposed to be gods on earth, man. Okay? So our children are going to be gods on earth, man. All right? So what are you going to say now? We're deadbeats? Because our children are playing with lions, tigers, and bears. In this world, it's a different world, obviously. But in this world, You don't let your child stray away from you. You don't let your child wander off and go too far ahead of you. It's too far behind you. You right beside your child, man. Okay? You don't let that shit happen. You understand? So it says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them, and the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. Okay, the weaned child just off the breast. So that when babies are in the crawling stage, how you think he's gonna be in the cockatrice den? Okay, he's be crawling. He's gonna be crawling. Maybe find a little den, put his hand in it. Whatever, no big deal. Look what I see. You know what I mean? I believe that's a spider as well. So he's gonna be playing with spiders. People hate spiders. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, Salakia. I'm bugging. So that's another form of serpent. It's another snake. It's another snake type motherfucker. Because the asp is also, I believe, is a snake. So yeah. So that's my mistake. Salakia. Yeah, a venomous snake. So the asp. Yeah. So I made a mistake. But Salakia. So the snake and the asp are both snake. I mean the Salakia, the cockatrice and the asp are both serpents, are both snakes, so to speak. All right. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of the Lord Yahweh. Exactly my point. See, I didn't even know I was going to get into that. We're supposed to have the knowledge of the Lord. We're supposed to teach our children the knowledge of the Lord. Now, we do that to the best of our ability in this world. You understand? We could only do so much in this world. Right? We can't force nothing down, our children's mind. But we can. We have that authority to, and we have that right. But we should have that wisdom and that sway and that Yaikwab in us to basically let them know, okay, don't do this, right? And this is why I'm telling you not to do this. If you go and do this, and I told you not to, the Lord's going to judge you. I already told you not to do that. That's not right. That's not according to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? But when you're young as a child, you make mistakes, but you got to learn from those mistakes. You know what I mean? But going back to the point, all right, this is the main point of the title of the topic of this video. Sirach 30:1. He that loveth his son causeth him to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Right. And I got a lot to say. I expound upon on that verse 3 because we live in a world, we all grew up in this, especially whatever, as Jakes, as Israelites, Southern Kingdom Israelites, whatever. Judah, Benjamin. Jake never taught hate. Not to say hate. We're not supposed to teach. You know what I mean. Salakia. Jake never taught. Our parents. Jake doesn't teach their children as a whole to make them aware that they have enemies and to watch out for them, or stay away from them. They don't push that out. They don't push that out. They say treat everybody with respect, right? The MO that they gave you Israelite, you Jakes, you Southern Kingdom, and you Northern Kingdom too, is love everybody. Love everybody. Meanwhile, all these other nations, they hate your ass. Psalms 83. They're all conglomerate against you. Hate your ass. Stay away from black. No black. No black. Stay. Black people evil. Black people wicked. Black people steal. That's what they say. Who's the biggest thief? Who's the biggest evilest people? All right. These palm colored people. All right. We know who they are. All right. These translucent devils. That's who the most evil people. You know, the Edomites. All right. These Edomites. That's who they are. They're the wicked of the earth. They're the anything. They outpass Jake in all wickedness in terms of statistics and shit like that, man. Jake's wickedness is wicked. Okay? Jake's wickedness is wicked in wickedness. You know what I mean? And they said, you know, it says they surpassed the devil, but Jake still has a moral compass, man. You know what I mean? So you have wicked ass Jakes. Amongst Jake, you have wicked ass Jakes. But then you still have an elect or a remnant that still tries to be upright. You know what I'm saying? With Lord will, we're of the elect. And, you know, we're the ones that the Lord finds favor in us for trying, man. But there's Jakes out there that don't try. Don't give a fuck for nothing, man. Okay? And a lot of time they don't understand the damage that they're doing when they don't, when you're not teaching your children to hate, and then you're coming up into a world and you're wondering why everybody hates you, why oh, it's because you're black, but I love everybody. Also, that's a very damaging frame of mind. You're actually putting your children at a disadvantage when you give them that mindset. Just be humble, be kind. Only Jake is in that mindset, man. Okay. Mind you, these heathens, these Edomites, they're teaching their children racism from young. Be racist. Don't, they're telling them how to be racist, so don't let it be too blatant. But they'll even tell them like, yeah, if you're racist to an N, right? He might punch you in the jaw. So keep your racism between you and your translucent buddies. You understand? That's the type of shit that they'll tell their children. Like, yeah, be racist, but like, be prepared to get your mouth knocked out. Just in case you might say the N word in front of the wrong one. The right one will try. They'll put them on game. They've been putting their family on game, man. In all levels. And not even just racism, just whatever. Finances. Jake, you don't put your children onto no finance. How to budget money. You don't teach them nothing. You don't really teach them nothing. You just send your children out. And everybody's just playing catch up. The children have to play catch up. And this is not a knock. It is, but it's not. But it's just a truth. This is not a knock to, it is a knock though, but it is because we're in hell. You understand? But our people, man, they're not teaching our children enough. Especially this truth. The wisdom of this truth. You know what I mean? He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself. That's right, man. And that's what you want to do, man. You want to download all your knowledge and wisdom into your seed, especially your son, man. Okay? Obviously, you love your daughters and, you love your children, daughter or son. You're going to love your daughter. You're going to love? That you married her off to a righteous man. That's what you're going to love. Yeah, I love my daughter and she married a righteous man. And then you know what? Everything is done in righteousness. Okay? So that, you're not worried about if she's playing the harlot or not. That's in the kingdom though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying no. We're in hell. No, I don't know what the hell's going on. No. But I'm just saying, in the kingdom, you'll be like, yeah, daughter. You're a good daughter, my daughter. When she reached 12, or marry off that. This is a righteous man. Marry him, and that's your man for life, for infinity and beyond. You know what I mean? And that's righteousness. That's righteousness, man. Big celebration, big, money, whatever. What do you real money, real substance? You're gonna get the dowry, right? and what's money gonna be in the kingdom, anyways, man? You know what I mean? Like it's not even gonna be like that in the sense of, okay, yeah, I get the dowry, I get the shekels, the fee. It's just this. It's for us. It's just gonna be the stand. Like it's just gonna be because it's the scriptures. You know what I mean? But we can manipulate elements. You understand? If we in the kingdom, we're gonna be able to manipulate elements. 50 shekels of silver, that's nothing. You know what I mean? So it's just gonna be customary. That's the word I'm looking for. Customary. Cause what's in the kingdom? What's silver really gonna be? Like, I'm not saying it's worthless. It's not worthless. The heathens are gonna love silver. Okay. Right now, silver is actually undervalued. Right now. Okay. Esau trying to downplay the silver, as if it's not worth half of gold, but silver's a big deal, man, and gold's a big deal. We know that, While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. Right. So they hate. That's what I'm saying. They hate Jake. They hate Jake that know themselves, that know who they are, that don't take bullshit from nobody, that don't how do you say? That not with no passive aggressive bullshit from Esau or all other nations. When you're aware and you're putting people in place, when you're in a position of authority, they don't like that. Especially as a Jake. They don't want you in a position of authority. Okay, that offends them. That offends these people, man. And all they want to do is try you. They try and test your intelligence as if you're not aware. And a lot of you Jakes ain't aware, man. And then they're just so passive aggressive. They're good at this passive aggressive game. And if they can try and get you to act out of character, right? If they, and that's the thing. We were not taught any of this. We were not taught, especially in the workplace or whatever, we were not taught that these people were just trying to fuck with us. You know what you're taught? Oh, go to school, go to university, get a good job, and make money and start a family. But they didn't teach you the nuance of going to school and getting a job and how it is on the job. They never taught you that. They never teach you that. You know what I'm saying? The passive aggressive. Oh, this is how you combat the passive aggressiveness. Nah, they never taught you none of these things. You just have to go and experience it for yourself and have to battle demons for yourself. Get fired. You know what I'm saying? All type of crazy shit. Lose jobs because you're not taking shit from nobody. You understand what I mean? Because why? You weren't prepared. You weren't prepped. And you weren't told that this is how it is in the workplace. You're black, quote unquote, you're black. So this is how they're going to treat you. And, you got to be able to maneuver this way and that way and know your rights, your law, whatever. You got to be able to, we don't know. Right? Or just world as it is. It's not even just workplace. Just, police pull you over. Police don't, you know what I'm saying? Police are ready to shoot you because you're black. Whatever the case may be. You weren't taught these things. But guess who's here? The Israelites. The Israelites, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Okay? So there's no excuse now. The videos are going forth. We're instilling to our people who they are, instilling confidence, the truth, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to our people. Right? We're letting them know who they are. Okay, according to the scriptures, and that they come from, they of the royal bloodline. Okay, the most royal, we're the Israelites, babies. Okay, Yasharallah. All right, princes of the power, man. You understand? That's who we are, and that's what we need to be uplifting and pushing to our children, to our people, man. Not even just our children, to our people as a whole. There's grown Israelites, adults, whatever, that need to hear that they're, obviously if they're the elect, they're going to receive it, but they need to hear that they're of a royal lineage, they're of a royal bloodline, and there's more to life to come. There's more to life to come. You understand? You're not just going to be stuck on this mundane, life is mundane, Edomite ass, fucking, job. Because you know what? I'll say this. Certain professions were seasonal. For example, farming. Farming is a seasonal profession, so to speak. You're not working every day. You're not, you might have to grind a few, for a season. Wake up in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and grind. You know what I mean? To plant, to till the land, right? You till the land. Guess what? After you till the land for maybe a month, 2 months, I don't know, 3, 4 months for a season, guess what? You're off for a season. Because obviously the plants need to grow. The herb, whatever it is, it needs to grow. Right? Then the following season, it's time to reap. So now you got to work. You got to pluck. You got to get it. But guess what? You had 4 months. You had 4 months on, 4 months off. So guess what you were doing on those 4 months off? For example, I'm just putting timelines out there. You were with your family. You're spending time. Okay? You're being a husband to your wives. You know what I mean? You're being a father to your children. Okay? You're supping with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And not to say you weren't supping with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai when you were tilling the land, but you know what I mean. Right? Everything was done in balance and in order. Obviously, obviously you rest on the rest day, Sabbath. Okay, of course, you know that. You know what I mean? But, guess what? You were able to link up with your friends and family on the off season and go see your friends, go see your family, your brothers, go have a drink, right? Enjoy life. That's what life was about, man. Enjoying life. Nobody said you can't work, and this is an evil ass world because they just have you working till you're dead. No fulfillment in the work. You understand? And that's why really you're really only supposed to work with your family. You're not supposed to be mixing with the heathens, working with heathens. They don't understand you. You don't understand them. Their spirit's off. Your spirit's upright. You can work. Because when you have children, your children help you. Your children follow after you. They respect taking orders from you. Because that's righteousness. You're older than them. You're their father. They respect taking orders from you. You understand? That makes sense. How can you respect somebody that's younger than you, but they're in the position of a manager, some random Edomite, okay, at McDonald's, he's your manager, younger than you. You just need a job to just, I just give an example, McDonald's, whatever. This guy's, but then he's telling you around, he's telling you what to do, bossing you around, and being a demon too. He's not sincere. He doesn't want what's best for you. He just wants power over you. You think your father wants power over you? No, your father wants to guide you. Your father wants to make you a better version of himself. That's the only man, really, and that's, I've seen that saying. Your father is the only man that wants to see you do better than them. That's the only man. And I'm not saying this amongst brothers. You know what I mean? Because obviously I want brothers to do well. I want brothers to be well, so to speak. I want what's best for brothers. Let's put it that way. But in the world, you might have friends in the world. They don't want you doing better than them. Right? Or if they see you doing better than them, so-called, they might feel a way. Right? But your father really is your best teacher, mentor, manager, whatever you want to call it, man. And that's why you need to be instilled with certain things, man. Knowing who you are. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 8. I'll start at 7. For what nation is there so great who hath Yahweh so nigh? Damn. Unto them. Let me start again, man. For what nation is there so great who hath Yahweh so nigh unto them? As the Lord Yahweh our God is in all things that we call upon him for. Damn. The Lord is in all things that we call upon him for. Right? So that's what I'm saying. That reminds me of Matthew 6. I know I'm going on tangents, man, but it's just a spirit. You know, like if the Lord knows you need stuff, man. So never forget it. Just pray. He wants to know how much you can pray, how much you're gonna want it, how much you're gonna beg, how much like pray, man. He knows you need a job that's gonna pay the bills. He knows that, man. So just pray. He's in all things, man. He's working on the minds of the people. He's working on the person at HR. I'm just giving examples, man. He's working on the, on your adversaries to be at peace with you, right? He's doing all these things, man. Just pray. He's in all things, man. You might get pulled over by the most racist ass cop. Racist. And the Lord, he hates niggas. This guy, he hates niggas, right? He comes across you, the Lord just put a spirit on him, man. It's like in that movie, man. What's that movie? That new one that came out. Damn. Let me try and find the movie. I can't forget it, man. Disclosure Day. The lady, she got pulled over by the cop. The Edomite, the lady that appeared to be an Edomite, got pulled over by a cop, and the Lord put a spirit on him and the Lord put a spirit on her to say certain things, and that's what I mean. Because what comes out of your mouth is what's gonna tell them, which really the spirit of the Lord. Give no thought what thou shalt say. Damn, I'm gonna have to do a video on that in itself. Cause I gotta say it right now. I might have to do a video on it, just separate. But I'm saying it right now because it's just the spirit. So basically, what happened was that girl in the movie, she would just get a spiritual download, and always say the right things to whoever she came across that were trying to be an adversary to her. And every time she said the right thing, they stepped back. You understand? So really, that's in the scriptures, man. All right, and I gotta do a video on that now. That's crazy. I don't even want to. I gotta, oh man, this is serious. Says, then what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. All right. Lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen. Right. And that's exactly what happened. We forgot the things our eyes saw, man. Our forefathers, obviously we discontinued from our heritage, right? But the God of the Bible only saved the Israelites, man. Always. In Egypt, who did he didn't save the Egyptians, he saved the Israelites, right? Oh, God, but God, after he closed the book. Oh, it's the New Testament now. God loves everybody. I don't know about that. That's a doctrine. That's a doctrine of devils. That's a doctrine of deceivers. You understand? God loves everybody is a doctrine of devils, man. Because where is that in the scriptures? God don't love the wicked. So only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. That's right. You're supposed to teach your sons and your sons' sons, man. About everything, man. About everything. Even especially when they get to 12. In this world, you can reason with your children at 12 for real, for real. Let them be innocent in this world for a little bit. At 12, man, fuck that shit, man. You gotta let them know what's up. Hey, man, that's the devil right there. All right, and the enemies don't be hanging with no you know what I'm saying? Don't be hanging with no heathens. Don't be buddy with no heathens, man. You know. But like I said, you gotta let the spirit play out. Still, okay, because everybody's still coming into themselves, and they don't have the spirit like how you have the spirit. So they may be playing with a person that appears to be an Edomite there, but they're really a Jake, and that's really their brethren. It will really be up to you to see if these people are Jakes or not. Like, you know what I mean? Or it is what it is. But overall, man, don't be hanging with no devils, man. Pink devils. Simple and plain. You know? Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord Yahweh, thy God in Horeb, when the Lord Yahweh said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. All right? And that's what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to teach your children. So I'm not going to make this too long, but I feel like the point's been made. Lord will, you were edified. Let me say shalom. And to the next one.